were some of the brightest stars in country music. But when the spotlight was the hottest, they turned their backs on it all. From breaking ties with family to walking away from fame, these legendary singers made decisions that still have fans asking, why? What caused them to abandon everything they worked for? Keep watching to uncover the untold stories of country's greatest and most mysterious exits. Patsy Cline's rise to fame was meteoric, marked by a voice that shook the world and a career destined for greatness. She captivated audiences everywhere with her powerful emotional performances that seemed to reach deep into the hearts of listeners. But in 1963, tragedy struck when her plane crashed, leaving her fans devastated. The news sent shockwaves through the music world, but some close to Patsy remembered hints that she might have wanted out of the limelight long before that fateful day. Behind her charming smile, there were whispers of her struggles with the immense pressures of stardom. Pressures that few outside of her inner circle truly understood. Patsy often spoke about feeling a sense of foreboding, as if she knew something tragic was coming. Friends recalled her mentioning the exhaustion, the constant touring, and the emotional toll of always having to be on. The never-ending cycle of performances, interviews, and public appearances left her physically and emotionally drained. She was said to have confided in those close to her that the fame, while thrilling, was also suffocating. The relentless schedule, the demands of her career, and the need to always present a perfect image took a heavy toll on her well-being. Patsy's love for her music never wavered, but the demands were unyielding, and the price of stardom weighed heavily on her. She yearned for moments of peace, times when she could just be herself without the expectations of the public bearing down on her. The pressures of always needing to be the perfect star, a role model, an icon, were immense. She was constantly under scrutiny, and even the smallest misstep could be blown out of proportion by the media or public opinion. Those closest to her saw glimpses of her vulnerability, moments when the weight of it all seemed too much to bear. They saw the tears, the exhaustion, and the longing for a simpler life away from the spotlight. Patsy was a woman who gave everything to her fans, but behind the scenes, she was paying a price that few could see. She often spoke of wanting to escape, to find a place where she could breathe without the pressure of constantly needing to perform. It was as if she was looking for a way out, a way to find herself again. Patsy's tragic end left a lingering question. Was it simply a tragic accident, or did she, on some level, feel ready to leave it all behind? Was she searching for an escape from the life that had become both her greatest dream and her greatest burden? Her story remains one of the most poignant examples of how the bright lights of fame can hide deep shadows, and how even those who seem to have it all can struggle with the unseen costs of success. The mystery surrounding her death and the hints she left behind continue to fascinate fans and historians alike. Her untimely death was not just the loss of a talented artist, but also a reminder of the fragility of those who live their lives in the public eye. Patsy Cline was a trailblazer, but she was also human, struggling with the weight of her own expectations and those imposed upon her by others. She was an icon, yet also a mother, a wife, and a friend, trying to find her way through the demands of fame. Her life was a delicate balance of triumphs and challenges, and her death left many wondering if the cost of her success had finally become too much to bear. Patsy's story sets the stage for another country legend, whose end was equally mysterious and filled with questions. Her story sets the stage for another country legend, whose end was equally mysterious and filled with questions. Hank Williams, the man whose voice defined country music, seemed to have everything except peace. His haunting melodies and unforgettable lyrics captured the hearts of millions, but behind the scenes, his life was unraveling. Struggling with addiction and a turbulent personal life, Williams's mysterious death at 29 left many wondering if he truly left it all behind on purpose. His health had been deteriorating for months, with his body weakened by alcohol and drugs. Those closest to him saw a man who was battling inner demons that fame and success couldn't cure. His relationships were fraught with conflict, and his career, though outwardly thriving, was plagued by canceled shows and erratic behavior. The pressures of constantly being in the public eye and the weight of expectation bore down on him heavily. Hank was a man who poured his pain into his music, but the toll it took on him was becoming too great. His health was rapidly declining, and his troubles were mounting. The public saw a star, but those who knew him best saw a man on the edge, struggling to keep it all together. Hank's final days were a tragic cocktail of pain, loneliness, and fading hope. He was often alone, isolated from those who cared about him as he traveled between shows, trying to fulfill his commitments while battling his own despair. Some say that in his final days, Hank spoke of wanting to leave everything behind, hinting at a desire for an escape from the life that had become unbearable. On New Year's Eve in 1952, Hank set out on what would be his final journey. He never made it to his next performance, and the circumstances of his death have left a lasting mystery. Was it a tragic accident, or did Hank Williams want to escape everything he had become? The unanswered questions about his death only add to the legend of Hank Williams, a man whose music spoke of love and loss, but whose own life ended in heartbreak. His story is a powerful reminder of how the pressures of fame can crush even the most talented individuals. Perhaps Hank saw no other way out, or maybe it was simply the culmination of his failing health and the lifestyle that had taken such a toll. Regardless, his legacy lives on, and his music continues to resonate with those who understand the deep sadness that often accompanies greatness. His tragic end was not just the loss of a country music icon, but the loss of a man who, despite all his success, never found the peace he so desperately sought. His story, like Patsy Cline's, shows how the brightest stars can sometimes burn out far too soon, leaving behind questions that may never be answered. Johnny Cash is known for his deep voice and even deeper struggles. His rise to fame was marked by immense talent, but also by a turbulent inner life that few could understand. During his early career, Cash faced numerous challenges, including addiction, failed relationships, and the pressures that came with being in the spotlight. His songs were raw, emotional, and often autobiographical, reflecting his ongoing battle with his demons. At the peak of his career, Cash reached a breaking point. The relentless touring, the expectations from fans, and the demands of being a star began to take their toll. It was during this period that Cash made a radical decision to step away from the spotlight. He withdrew, choosing to focus on his faith and to fight his inner demons in solitude. His break from fame shocked fans, who couldn't understand why a man at the height of success would turn his back on it all. But perhaps it was the only way for him to survive. Cash's withdrawal was a necessary step in his journey toward redemption. He spent time reflecting, reconnecting with his spirituality, and trying to find a sense of peace that had eluded him for so long. It wasn't an easy path. There were moments of doubt, relapses, and struggles, but Cash was determined to find a new way of living. He retreated to the solace of nature, often spending time alone in remote places, trying to clear his mind and heal. His music during this period changed as well. It became more introspective, focusing on themes of forgiveness, salvation, and hope. Cash's retreat from fame allowed him to come back stronger, both as an artist and as a person. His return to the music scene was marked by a renewed sense of purpose, and his later work would go on to inspire countless others facing their own battles. Songs like Hurt and The Man Comes Around resonated deeply with audiences, reflecting his raw honesty and the wisdom he gained from his struggles. Was this withdrawal what saved him, or was it an inevitable retreat from the weight of his own fame? For Johnny Cash, stepping away was not about giving up. It was about finding a way to keep going. His story is one of resilience, transformation, and the power of stepping back to move forward. It reminds us that sometimes, the bravest thing a person can do is to acknowledge their struggles and take the time they need to heal. Cash's journey was a testament to the idea that true strength lies in vulnerability. By stepping away, he was able to confront his past and emerge with a renewed sense of who he was and what he wanted to share with the world. His return was not just a comeback, it was a rebirth, marked by a deeper connection to his audience and a profound understanding of life's hardships. Cash's story sets the stage for yet another country legend who faced similar challenges but chose a different path. Loretta Lynn. Like Cash, she too had to navigate the pressures of fame and the demands of her personal life, but her approach was uniquely her own. Loretta Lynn's story is one of perseverance and power. She rose to fame from humble beginnings, becoming one of the most iconic voices in country music. But even Loretta, known for her resilience, needed to step back at times. From taking breaks to care for her family to moving away from the media glare, Loretta's journey was filled with pauses. These retreats were not just casual breaks. They were necessary for her to regain balance and to protect the parts of her life that mattered most to her. The pressures of balancing stardom and family life were immense, and Loretta often found herself at a crossroads, choosing between her public career and her private responsibilities. What was behind these breaks? Was she just recharging? Or was there more to the story? Loretta's retreats showed a different side of her, one that chose family over fame, time and time again. Her decision to put her loved ones first, even at the height of her career, revealed her deep commitment to her values. Fans might have wondered why she stepped back when the spotlight was shining so brightly, but to Loretta, there was never a question. She spoke openly about how her family kept her grounded and how the demands of stardom sometimes conflicted with her role as a mother and wife. Pauses from the spotlight allowed her to reconnect with her roots and recharge, but they also served as a statement that no matter how famous she became, her family would always be her priority. These breaks, though sometimes seen as setbacks, were actually moments of strength and clarity for Loretta. They allowed her to return to the music scene with renewed energy and passion, each time bringing a fresh perspective to her work. During these times away from the stage, Loretta often focused on the simple joys of family life. She spent time with her children, took care of her home, and reconnected with the community she had grown up in. These moments provided her with the peace and stability that the hectic world of entertainment could not. Loretta's dedication to her family was not just admirable. It was an essential part of who she was. Sacrifices she made to be present for her loved ones showed a depth of character that went far beyond her public persona. Her story is a testament to the fact that stepping away doesn't mean giving up. It means knowing what truly matters and having the courage to honor it. Loretta's journey through fame and her choice to withdraw at times is an inspiring reminder that success isn't always about staying in the spotlight. Sometimes it's about knowing when to step away. These pauses were what kept her grounded, what allowed her to come back stronger, with songs that spoke to the heart of her audience. Loretta Lynn's ability to navigate the demands of both her career and her family life was nothing short of remarkable. She faced the pressures of being a public figure while ensuring her children grew up with a mother who was present and attentive. It was this balance that allowed her to continue her career for decades, endearing her to generations of fans. Her music often reflected her life experiences, and the authenticity she brought to her songs resonated deeply with those who listened. And her story leads us to another country legend who faced his own crossroads and made a sudden decision to take a new path. Jim Reeves. Jim Reeves was a star with a voice that made women swoon and men admire. His smooth, velvety vocals and charismatic stage presence earned him a devoted following, and he was well on his way to cementing his place as one of the greats in country music. But just as he was reaching new heights, Jim started showing interest in other endeavors, ones that had little to do with his music. He began to express a desire to explore opportunities beyond the music industry. Close friends and associates recall Jim talking about business ventures that piqued his interest, ones that seemed to promise a different kind of success, something more stable and perhaps more fulfilling than the roller coaster of fame. Jim was considering moving away from the music industry, eyeing these business opportunities as a potential new chapter in his life. It wasn't just about making money. Jim seemed to be searching for something that could offer him a sense of security and fulfillment that the music world couldn't provide. He had spent years touring, recording, and living in the spotlight, and while he loved his fans and his music, there was a part of him that longed for a different kind of life. He often spoke about wanting to settle down, to have more control over his future, and to create something lasting beyond the fleeting fame of the music industry. His untimely death in a plane crash in 1964 left many to wonder, did he have plans to leave it all behind for something else, something that could have changed his life forever? The tragedy cut short any chance of seeing what Jim's next chapter might have been. Was he truly ready to walk away from the stage, or was he simply exploring his options, trying to find a balance between his passion for music and his desire for a more stable life? The unanswered questions about Jim Reeves' intentions continue to intrigue fans and historians alike. His story is a poignant reminder of how even the most successful artists can feel the pull of a different path, one that offers a sense of normalcy away from the pressures of fame. Jim's desire to branch out and find a new direction speaks to the universal human longing for purpose and fulfillment, beyond what others see on the surface. His sudden death left a void in the country music world, but it also left us with a mystery. What could Jim Reeves have accomplished if he had lived? His legacy remains not just in the music he left behind, but also in the dreams he never got to fulfill. And this brings us to yet another enigmatic figure in country music, Conway Twitty, whose career moves often baffled fans and kept them guessing about his true motivations. Conway Twitty was one of country music's biggest stars, yet he often defied expectations. Known for his smooth voice and signature charm, Conway started his career with aspirations that went far beyond country music. He initially found success in rock and roll, and his hit song, It's Only Make Believe, catapulted him to fame. But just when it seemed he was set to be a rock and roll icon, Conway made an abrupt shift, deciding to return to his country roots. This move puzzled many, as it wasn't common for artists to successfully transition between genres, especially at a time when the lines between rock and country were sharply drawn. From drastic shifts in his music style to his retreats from the public eye, Conway seemed to live by his own rules. His versatility and willingness to take risks made him stand out, but it also left fans and industry insiders guessing about his motivations. Conway's decision to switch genres wasn't just about music. It was also about finding his true identity as an artist. He often spoke about how country music felt more authentic to him, how it resonated with his upbringing and personal experiences. He wanted to connect with his audience on a deeper level, and he believed that country music gave him that opportunity. At times, he left fans baffled with his decisions, like when he seemed to vanish from the public eye, only to return with a new sound or style. These retreats were times of reflection for Conway, moments when he could step back and assess where he wanted to go next. His career was marked by a constant search for authenticity. Conway was never content to simply rest on his laurels. He was always evolving, always pushing the boundaries of what was expected of him. This drive led him to make bold choices, like his collaboration with Loretta Lynn, which became one of the most iconic partnerships in country music history. Their duet showcased a different side of Conway, one that was tender, romantic, and deeply connected to the storytelling roots of country music. What drove Conway to take these risks? And was there a deeper reason behind his moves? Perhaps he was always searching for something beyond the spotlight, something that gave him a sense of fulfillment that fame alone could not provide. Conway Twitty's story is one of constant reinvention. He refused to be boxed in by expectations, and his willingness to take risks earned him a unique place in music history. Whether it was shifting genres, stepping away from the limelight, or reinventing his sound, Conway was always true to himself. His journey wasn't just about success. It was about the pursuit of artistic freedom and personal satisfaction. And while his choices sometimes baffled fans, they also made him one of the most intriguing figures in country music. His story leads us to the conclusion of this journey through the lives of country legends who chose paths less traveled, reminding us that the cost of fame can often lead to unexpected and courageous decisions. These country legends had everything the world could offer, but still chose to leave it all behind. Was it fame that crushed them, or was it the pressure of a life everyone expected them to live? The stories of Patsy, Hank, Johnny, Loretta, Jim, and Conway remind us that sometimes the most powerful choices come from walking away. Fame comes with a cost, and for these stars, the price was too high to pay. What do you think drove them to such drastic decisions? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more untold stories of country music's greatest icons.